We continue to conduct operations throughout the region, both executing operations, executing evacuations and rescues, and also preparing for larger scale events and for contingencies. The big contingencies that we're worried about are more airspace closures and border closures, which continue to frustrate operations um, just due to the nature of what's going on. The situation on the ground, the situation on the ground is complex, to say the least. Lots and lots and lots and lots of people. We're at over 4,000, coming up to, we'll be at 6,000 requests for evacuations here shortly. Hold on one second. Yeah, sorry, yes. We're at over 4,000, flirting with 5,000 right now. We'll probably be at 6,000, and I would bet by Saturday. Also important, the Jewish Sabbath is coming Friday, this Friday night. So from an operational perspective, we can't, for religious people, getting them into the mousetrap and out the other side, can't really happen well. It can be done, but it can't happen well on the Sabbath. So we're for during the Sabbath time, we're going to rescue people who are not observant, who are not restricted, if you will, by the tradition of the Jewish Sabbath. Um, we have buses, we have airplanes, we have maritime options, which remain solid. The team, my Grable has been in the region for over a year, in and out, on and off throughout all these countries. So our relationships here are extremely solid that allow us to do things that are frankly very hard to do. It's not war zone Uber. It's not war zone Uber at all. Um, our good friends from the state of Florida are backing us up. We're partnered with Governor DeSantis and the Florida Department of Emergency Management, who are awesome. My really good friend, Senator Jay Collins, is out here actually with us, fully embedded in our team. We're literally in the same room for most hours that we're doing stuff. Um, there's not a light of day between us and the state of Florida and the governor's office, which is awesome because uh, the the values that Governor DeSantis holds dear are identical to our core values at Grable Rescue, where we're not. It's not a political thing. It's not a military thing even. It's an American thing. And saving American lives is saving American lives. And Governor DeSantis is completely and totally aligned with us as far as that's the most important thing. And that's why we're out here, is to save American lives. Many people are concerned. Many people are concerned. Many people are scared, is what I'll say. They're very trepidatious about everything. Nobody wakes up and hopes to be rescued. Nobody wakes up and wants to flee a place that was peaceful and nice and go through a whole rigmarole, and have their trips upset, or their study abroad programs messed up, or vacation plans, or even just their lives for the expats that live here, who are Americans that happen to live in Israel. The attack on the hospital, which I think was yesterday. I think yesterday, it's kind of all blurring together for me. Um, I think was a game changer. I think that changes things significantly. The people of Israel are a peaceful people in general, and they don't react kindly to their civilians being targeted or killed, as we saw after October 7th. So, you see, if you look at Gaza, the war in Gaza is a direct result of civilians being killed by so that's an Israeli response and reaction to how they feel and care about their people. So at the hospital being targeted, I'm fully expecting uh, a a an unconfused and unambiguous reminder and response to Iran, who targeted their people with impunity deliberately to kill civilians. So I think that was escalatory by its nature, and I think that will have an escalatory reaction. And then the question is does it keep escalating, or is it a quid pro quo kind of a response? Unknown. We'll see. Time will tell. With respect to with respect to uh, um, at a strategic level, where do we think things are going? We don't really know. But at the end of the day, there's only three possible outcomes. Either Israel backs down, or Iran backs down, or there's a long-term conflict. That's really the only there's only really the only three options on the table. The fourth option would be that the people of Iran get so angry at the regime that they revolt, and we have another Iranian rebellion, and the mullahs and the ayatollahs get taken out, and Iran can be potentially welcomed back into the international community. I actually think that's the best option out there. That would be um, that's certainly the one that makes the most sense, and that's best for everybody involved. The people of Iran, who are generally speaking good people, and the people of Israel, who are generally speaking good people, and the people of the world, who are mostly good people. A peaceful, non Ayatollah regime run Iran is a good thing for everybody. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll hold there.
Okay, thank you. Couple questions. Have the four flights chartered by Governor DeSantis taken off as planned, and what are their scheduled ETAs?
I don't know about all the flights scheduled by Governor DeSantis. I know about the flights that we've worked with Governor DeSantis. Those have all been successful. We're waiting on one more, which is imminent. And then we have a series of other ones right behind it. So I don't know about every single flight that Governor DeSantis has supported. I know that there are many. Hold on one second. Phones are exploding here. Bear with me. Um, uh, I know that Governor DeSantis has been generous enough and has also enabled the Florida Department of Emergency Management to support a number of initiatives. The main effort is through us, but there are other ones as well. The birthright boat and the birthright planes are is a good example of that. We didn't really have much of a role in that other than supporting where we could, but that was not a Grable rescue operation per se. The other flights that we've done a few flights out of from Jordan and also Cyprus. Those were Grable Rescue organized and managed and funded and supported by Governor DeSantis.
Thank you. I know Senator Collins is with you and has been with you on the ground, and was expected to join today's conference. I know that he gets pulled in many directions, so just wanted to see if you have any words about Senator Collins.
Yeah, Jay's a really good friend. We're in the same Purple Heart chapter in Tampa. He's my state senator. I'm from Tampa. He's from Tampa. He's I always like to joke, for a politician, he's a really good Green Beret. Jay's out here again because his values align directly and squarely with our values. Um, um, we've, Jay Collins has supported us for dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of missions, many of them, all through the hurricanes, all through Hurricane Ian, all through Hurricane Adelia, Milton and Helene, different things that we've done. He's an Afghan vet. When my team and I started in August 2021, Senator Collins and I were collaborating on getting some folks out that were affiliated with him many years ago already. That was 731 missions ago for us. So for perspective, Senator Collins has been supporting us one way or the other for 731 missions and almost 8,000 people. By the time this conflict is over, or Grable Rescue's involvement in this conflict is over, we'll be at over 8,000 lives saved, one way or the other, and sometimes in a big way, sometimes just sometimes in a huge way and sometimes in a less than huge way. The bottom line is Senator Collins has been with us every step of the way and has been a huge advocate for us, a big supporter of us, a great a connector and problem solver and leader. He's truly remarkable. So we couldn't be proud enough to have him out here with us and backing our plays and helping us out and helping us deal with the state of Florida, which can be an interesting experience sometimes. But bottom line is Jay's out here to for all the right reasons, doing all the right things for sure.
Thank you. Andre from CBS says, can you tell us what time the flight will land in Tampa and how many people are on the plane?
I don't know, and I don't know. I'm focused, frankly, I'm focused on a pretty significant operation that we're putting together in the next 12 hours and getting another flight in the air. So I'm not, once they're kind of on their way, I kind of say, I go on to the next thing.
And Andre, we can follow up with you on additional information about that. From Ty Russell, for planning purposes, do you know when some of the charter flights will return?
Same answer. Some have landed, some are on their way, some are taking off literally potentially in minutes. So we have multiple manifests and we're calling this our operation name for this conflict is Olive Shield. Olive is an olive branch. We're a humanitarian organization, and each one of our large manifests are named Olive something. So Olive One, Olive Two, Olive Three, Olive Four. Um, uh, um, uh, so yeah, so we have multiple manifests going on multiple aircraft. It's very complicated. Those that have ever had to charter large scale to conduct large scale air operations would understand how much goes into it. It really is a process to say the least. We have a fairly sizable team out here, and between ground operations, border operations, air operations, and maritime operations, on top of case management, which is managing the people part. There's a lot going on out here. It's very, very chaotic. It's organized chaos.
Shauna Muckle with the Tampa Bay Times asks, are there any students from FSU included?
Yeah, I was actually just talking to an FSU kid about an hour ago. There's a number of college kids, and this is an important thing. There's a number of college kids from Florida and other states too, but a lot of Florida who were in Israel on their study abroad program. It's the summertime. They come over in the summer and they do whatever kids do in Israel, and didn't plan for this. Their parents are scared about the war and missiles and drones and bombings and closed airspace and closed borders and all those things. And they're scared college kids. They're young. They don't know what to do.
Okay. Ty Russell asks, with the request reaching 6,000, how will they be able to get home?
Simple. The if you're flying, if we cross the border usually through Jordan, we do some other places also, but Jordan is the big one. Um, Once in Jordan, there's a choice: either leave Jordan on an airplane or rent an apartment. We don't want people renting apartments in Jordan, so we're going to get them out by airplane.
Okay, that leads me to the next question from Andre CBS. Can you walk us through the evacuation process?
Sorry, guys, I'm exhausted. I haven't slept in a few days. I apologize. I actually fell asleep on TV the other day. True story. Um, um, so what happens is things go wrong and people panic and they need to get out. And what they do is they call pretty much everyone that they've ever met. That's usually what happens. So in that process, somehow, some way, you find yourself usually Googling or using social media or regular media, and they find us. In this case, there's two ways to register for us. One is on the Florida Department of Emergency Management website. There's a Israel Rescue portal. If you click that link, that's Grable. The other way is just come to our website directly, grablerescue.org. That's our website. That's where you can go to ask for help. That's also where you can go to give help. And boy, do we need it. We need donations real bad. This stuff is expensive. Once somebody registers a case manager, we have a team of volunteer case managers who will make contact with the families, make contact with the families very often if it's a kid on a study abroad thing. We'll talk to the parents who are in America and also talk to the kid who's in Israel. And the big thing that we're trying to understand is who are they, what are they, and where are they? It's really hard to rescue someone when you don't know where they are. So we'll geolocate where they're at, send either teams, we either send teams to go get them, or if it's safe enough, we tell them come to us at an established rally point, depending on who they are and what they are, their threat condition, and the risk profile. So they get on buses, and either they're driven to the port where we take a boat to Cyprus, or they're driven to Amman, where we go to the airport, get on a plane and fly. Oh my God, I can't stop yawning. At that point, once they're out of the hot zone, their path to survival and safety has increased dramatically. We stop in either Cyprus or Jordan or whatever the country will be. We make sure to enter that country legally, always legally. Grable Rescue does not break laws, ever, ever, ever. We come to the country legally, get visas at the border almost always, and cross the border by foot and go and get onto more buses that take us to an airplane or to a port, to a seaport. We manifest again, and then from there, we fly to America.
Thank you. WSVN asks, can you describe conditions on the ground and the biggest hurdles you are having to clear to get folks out and back to Florida?
Biggest hurdle, I'm always, all the admin stuff is usually painful for me. Uh, um, Not that it's not that bad, but it just can be frustrating. So the administrative side of doing these things can be definitely challenging. And I'll give you a really good example. When we do manifesting, it's basically just a spreadsheet when it's all said and done. But that spreadsheet needs to be perfect so that when we apply for permits to fly from Jordan, let's say, to America, to get the permit, your what's called your P&L or your manifest, your person and name list, that has to be pretty dialed in and pretty locked in. It's really an administrative function that my case managers have to do. But if it messes up, the whole plane gets held. They don't just pull somebody off, the whole plane gets yanked. So that has been frustrating a little bit because the Israeli rules are very often different than the Jordanian rules or the American rules.
Okay. Looks like from WTSP, if you can share what type of planes do you use out of Jordan? C-20 question.
Big ones. Grable, we try and get birds that are commensurate with the size of who are evacuating. So no sense to get a 300 passenger 777 if you're rescuing two people. So we try and line it up pretty good. And if we come under, that's okay. And if we go over, that's a real problem because now we have to get another plane. And we're not ready for that when that happens. So we try and pad our numbers, so to speak, or buffer our numbers so that if I have an aircraft that seats 130, I don't go and get 150 hoping that 20 break off. We go to people and we get them to say yes.
Thank you. Shauna with the Times. Are you getting requests exclusively from Americans or are international citizens eligible to be rescued as well?
International citizens are allowed to be rescued, but they're on a case by case basis due to some contractual obligations and some border requirements and some other things. There's a series of things that there's a series of aspects to rescues where passports really, 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 really matter.
Ariel with Fox 13, can you talk about the airspace closures and how that affects your plans?
Anytime that there's a closure, it affects our plans, whether that be land or air or even sea. As an example, today the border closed. We were on our way. The border closed while we were going, and by the time it would have reopened, the border would then be closed. So they closed it unannounced. They closed the border unannounced, and then the scheduled closure. So it was a uh, um, all those things really matter. Airspace closure is the same way. If I'm relying on being able to fly out of Jordan, and then all of a sudden the Jordanian airspace closes, every plane that was on its way to Jordan diverts. The ones that are already in Jordan, they get on the ground right away, and then everything is stuck. Then then you're paralyzed. So airspace closures are really scary because it means if it's unannounced and we don't know what's coming, that means that 200, 300 people are about to be very disappointed.
Understood. Ty with WFLA, are you aware if the flights are direct to Tampa from Cyprus or Jordan?
I'd say some are not. It depends.
Okay. And Michelle Tack, and I have to say, everyone really is expressing on this on this chat their appreciation for what you're doing. Um,
I'm sorry, I'm yawning, guys. I'm smoked. So,
that's understandable. Michelle, yes, this is being recorded and we can send this, no problem. Any additional questions for Brian? And I have to say, Brian and his team have been up 4 days, no sleep, and working hard and still with a lot of vigor and passion to get these folks out of danger. Um, any additional questions coming up? Okay. If there are any additional questions, feel free to let us know. Actually, we've got Shauna with the Times. For the people on the ground in Florida, is Governor DeSantis planning a presser at TPA later tonight? Currently, it is not planned. And once we hear of a press conference being planned, we will absolutely loop you in. So currently, there is not one planned for tonight that we're aware of. Of the 4,000 requests, can you clarify how many of those are Americans?
um, the overwhelming majority, I would say, where we have a bunch of dual Israeli American citizens in there, which are kind of complicated, and then we have the odd, random Swedish guy who married an American woman in Israel. So um, overwhelmingly 98%, 99% of the registrations are from American citizens.
Thank you. Any other questions? We'll do our absolute best to keep everybody in the loop too, as the situation is very fluid and continues to change. So we appreciate everybody. You're getting lots of thank you, Brian, and good luck to the team. And so we appreciate everything. And thank you all for covering this important story and this important coverage to help reach those that might still need to be rescued or reach their family and help support Grable Rescue as it's completely donor funded. And so we just really appreciate spreading the word.
Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.
Recording stopped.